everyone, it's Karen with 𝗬𝗏𝗄𝗧 PaperCrafts, and in this video I'm going to be creating a layout for Simple Stories Saturdays, which is a YouTube hop and scrapbooking collaboration that's hosted by my good friend 𝗬𝗵𝗿, and we're joined by a whole bunch of other YouTubers each month to create layouts using our Simple Stories collections. So y'all be sure and go check out everyone else that is participating in this month's hop, and I'll have links to their YouTube channels in the description below. Okay, so last month, the month of September, I created base pages using some of my Simple Stories collections, and my plan was to use those base pages to create layouts in the next few videos. So for this video, I'm going to be using one of the base pages I created last month, and if you're not familiar with base pages, it's really just nothing more than creating a foundation for a future layout. And so I learned this technique from Janet at RTS Scrapbooking, and if you want to see more about how she creates her base pages, I'll put a link to her video in the description below. But it's really a lot of fun to create base pages because you don't really have to worry about pictures or a title. You can just play with paper and create something to use for a future layout. Okay, so what we're going to be doing in this video is I'm going to take my base page. We're going to find some pictures, figure out what the title is going to be, and add some embellishments. So I think using base pages is a really good way to speed up your scrapbooking process, because you can create your base pages when you don't really feel up to doing a whole scrapbooking layout, or maybe you just want to go to a friend's house and have something to play with. You can just bring some paper with you and just create a whole bunch of base pages and then use that later in your layouts. So, okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the base page that I created. And this is using a Simple Stories collection called I Am. And I have the base page plus the paper and embellishments that I was going to use stored in this record sleeve. And I picked these record sleeves up from Amazon. I'll put a link to where you can find this in the description below. Yeah, it's just a good way to keep everything contained. Okay, so what I have here is my base page. And if you want to see how I created the base pages, I'll put a link to September's video in the description below as well. So if you want to watch that, you can go ahead and go back to last month's video. But basically what I did was I took a pink grid paper with lines, just like a tone-on-tone paper, and then I added all these paper strips here to the bottom. So once I had all of these little paper strips glued down to my background, I did realize that I made a little bit of a mistake. And sometimes mistakes can be opportunities. It can be an opportunity to do something that you wouldn't have done had you not made that mistake. And so what happened here was that I glued these papers down crooked, and the background has lines on it. And so it's very noticeable that my paper's crooked. So I needed something to cover it up. And I thought it would be really fun to use some ribbon. So I went over to my stash of ribbon, and when I was looking through that, I came across some lace, and I thought that would be really cute on this layout. So I'm just going to add that as a border to kind of separate between the background and these strips of paper and to cover up my mistake. And I think that really adds a really cool texture to this layout. So during the process of creating the base pages, I did take the opportunity to look through the papers to see if there's anything that I could use as embellishments. And so I spent a few minutes 𝗬𝗏𝑐𝑢𝑡ting out these images and creating these die cuts, and I have them stored on this magnetic photo page. This is a page that is from a photo album, so this is intended to be used for photo storage, but you can also use this to store your ephemera, your die cuts, your titles, or anything, small. And so I like using this because it kind of keeps everything organized and together, and you don't lose any of these small bits and pieces, and you can store it in with your base page or with your unfinished layout. So I think it's really awesome. And then once I've created the layout, I can go ahead and take this and use it for my next project. So I'm just going to go ahead and take all these pieces out so that we can have them to play around with and work with for embellishing this layout. And then I also did go through a bin that I have. I have bins by manufacturer. And I also have things stored as a collection. If I have a lot of the same collection from a company, I have it stored together in one place. Sometimes I have things where I haven't had the chance to go and put this in with the collection, or maybe I don't have any of this collection. I think the Summer Lemon collection, I don't think I have this collection or any paper from it. So it's just an extra embellishment that I have that is Simple Stories. But one of the awesome things when you're working with one manufacturer, they will often use the same color combinations for different collections. So even though this is from the Summer Loving collection, it has similar colors to the I Am collection. So it's possible that I could actually find something from here that I could use for this layout. So I went through this bin, which is my Simple Stories bin, and I just pulled out a whole bunch of stuff that I thought might work on the layout. And yeah, so we'll see. I can use the things that I fussy cut, or I can use some of these other things. And this also is double-sided, so if you had a lot of embellishments or die cuts, you could use both sides to store them. So I think there are 5 basic components that you need to think about when you're creating a layout. 4 of these I think are used on pretty much every layout that I create, and that is a background, a photo, a title, and embellishments. And then the 5th component is journaling. And sometimes I like to journal on a layout, sometimes I don't, because it really depends on the picture and what story I want to tell with that layout. Some pictures really don't have a story, they're just a picture. And other pictures have a really awesome story that needs to be shared and be a part of that layout. So as I'm thinking about what to do first, I want to think about those 5 things to make sure that I leave space. So if I want to do journaling, I need to plan that out and make sure I leave the space to do my journaling. And if I want to, showcase my background, I need to make sure that when I plan everything out, I don't cover too much of it up. So you just want to think about those 5 things, and as you're planning out the layout. So you can start a layout with any of these 5 components in mind. And so for me, I'm starting out with the background. And then I can pick the picture, and then based on the picture, I can pick my title and also the embellishments. Or I can pick the title and then pick the picture based on the title. And so that's actually what I did. I decided that I wanted to use this die cut, which says "You Got This Girl," as my title, because I think it's really cute, super cute. And so I went through my photos, and I just found a bunch of miscellaneous photos that I have. So I have a couple of pictures here of myself when I was on a trip to Fredericksburg. And I just think the colors work really well with this background, with this paper. Here's another picture in front of a mural. And then I have this picture of my 3 nieces. I think this is really a cute picture, and it would be perfect for this layout, except my niece Courtney is wearing this really bright pink sweater, and it almost overpowers the entire background paper. So I don't think that this picture would work, even though I love that picture. And then I have this picture here, and this is of my niece Haley when she graduated from high school. And I think that this picture is actually perfect. So I think we're going to use this one, and it says "You Got This Girl." I think this picture fits the title the best. It fits the colors the best, and I think it's the most appropriate picture for this layout. So we're going to go with this picture, and we're going to go with this as the title. And I'll probably do something like this here. And then this is a really busy background down here. So I want to find something in these embellishments that I have to kind of tone down this to create a cluster down here at the bottom. Also want to have a cluster up here at the top, and then one over here. So we'll have 1, 2, 3 clusters. And you want to create clusters in a triangle, or you don't really necessarily have to do that. But it's really nice to create your clusters and make a triangle, because it draws your focus in towards the picture. So if you create the triangle here, it'll draw your eye in toward the picture, which is the focal point for this layout. Okay, so now that we have our layout figured out, we have our title, we have the photo, the background, and we know where our embellishments are going to go. The next thing that we need to do is to look through all the embellishments, to pull things out, to figure out what will work to create our clusters. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I might just go ahead and speed this up. And I'm not sure, we might cut this part out depending on whether or not I can talk through it or not. Okay, so I'm going to start by looking through this Journal Bits and Pieces Hey Crafty Girl, because I want to find something to use as a foundation for my cluster down here at the bottom. And it's just because this background is very busy, anything you put there will just kind of blend into the background unless you separate the background from the embellishments. So I'm just going to show you as an example. Here is a large embellishment here. If we put this on top of that background, it really pops off from the background, and then you can add additional things around it and create a cluster, and it really makes that pop more from the background because it's a really large piece that has a lot of white space in it. So I'm just going to go ahead and look through some of these and try to see if we can figure out if there's anything we want to use on this layout. And this collection is really cute. It's mainly for crafting, like if you went to a crop. But I still think that you could probably use some of these things on any layout. So I'm just going to go through and look through here to see if there's anything we can use here. Okay, so I spent some time looking through all of the different embellishments, trying to find things that I thought would work well with this layout. I did decide to use all of the die cuts that I fussy cut out that were stored on this magnetic photo page. And then I also die cut out one additional piece, which is this banner that says "Go Girl." So I thought that was really cute, and I think that would work really well there at the top of the layout. And then I wanted something down here that would be the background for a cluster. And I found this circle piece with the florals. It's a journaling spot. It came from the Crafty Girl collection, the journal bits and pieces. And I really thought more of these pieces would work with this layout, but I found that the colors were just a little bit too bright and vibrant compared to the colors that are in the 𝗬𝗏 collection. But I think for this one piece, it works okay, even though the oranges are a little bit brighter. I think it still works okay because I have this orange up here at the top. And so that was the only thing I pulled from here. And then I also looked through these embellishments, which were some embellishments I made for some Happy Mail from my friend Joanne a few years ago. And it's using the 𝗬𝗏 collection. So I did pull in a rosette here that it's kind of squished a little bit, but I think it's still cute. It has some circles and a heart there, and I just stapled it right there in the middle. So let me get this up so you can see it on the camera there. But that was just an embellishment I had made a long time ago, and I thought that would be cute on the layout. I have a butterfly that was also in this pack, and then also some of these little postage stamps. It's like I have a punch from Stampin' Up! That creates this stamp and then a square punch, and you can create these little postage stamps. So I had created some of those, so I thought that would be cool to put one of those in each one of the clusters. And then I also pulled a few things from the bits and pieces. This is from the Simple Stories 𝗬𝗏 collection. And this little one-of-a-kind word die cut here. And then also this one up here that looks like a paperclip. So I still need to adhere everything down. And I was thinking actually about also using some of these clear stickers from this. This is from Life in Color, also from Simple Stories. And I thought this would be really cute to just maybe put some of these stickers in the background around the top of the picture, and maybe like down here on this journaling spot. So I also have there's some colored stickers in this pack, and then also I think silver, so these silver ones. But I think the color or the black ones would look really cute. And then the last thing that I'll probably do is to add some finishing touches. So I'll probably add maybe some of these decorative brads or enamel dots. I have the decorative brads from the 𝗬𝗏 collection and some enamel dots from a couple of different collections. This is from So Fancy, which is really old. And then we have the Simple Vintage Lakeside. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere everything down, and then I'll come back and show you the finished layout. Okay, so here's the finished layout. I did add some foam tape to some of the embellishments just to add some dimension and to help build the clusters. And then I also added this little butterfly that I fussy cut out of one of the papers. I moved the paper clip from here over to this side just because once I made this cluster up here, it got a little bit bigger, and so there wasn't as much space between the top of the picture and this cluster. So I just decided it looked better to add that paperclip embellishment over here. And that's not really a real paperclip. It's just a die cut that has the picture of a paperclip. And then at the top here, I wanted to move the banners down because I didn't want to have to cut off any of this embellishment or the flower. And so I added a striped paper up here at the top and then added all of the banner strips. And I think that came out really cute. I also added in a lot of these black stickers, these clear stickers, and also some enamel dots to each one of my clusters. So let me go ahead and hold this up so you can have a closer up view of the layout. And I think it turned out really cute. So that's pretty much all I have for this video. Y'all be sure and go check out everyone else's videos that is participating in this month's hop. I have links to those videos in the description below. So y'all take care. Hope y'all have an awesome weekend, and I hope to see you next time. Bye now.